There is a moment, small, invisible, yet powerful, between what happens and how we respond. That moment is where freedom lives. The Stoics called it the discipline of assent, the art of choosing which thoughts to accept. Epictetus taught that events themselves do not disturb us, only our judgments about them. He said, "What upsets people is not things themselves, but their opinions about things." When something happens, a harsh word, a disappointment, a fear, our mind creates meaning. But we have a choice, to assent or to pause and question. That pause is the space of wisdom. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are pained by any external thing, it is not the thing itself, but your judgment about it. And it is in your power to wipe out that judgment now. The mind is like a citadel. No one can enter it without your consent. You cannot stop people from speaking, but you can stop their words from echoing within. You cannot stop misfortune, but you can decide what it means." Seneca warned, "We are more frightened than hurt and suffer more in imagination than in reality. Fear, anger, and envy are born not from events, but from our interpretation of them." If we master perception, we master emotion. So how do we practice the discipline of assent? When a negative thought arises, don't fight it, examine it. Ask, is this thought true? Does it serve wisdom, courage, or justice? If not, why believe it? Let false thoughts pass by like clouds in the sky. You are not your thoughts. You are the one who chooses which thoughts to keep. This is the Stoics' daily exercise, to stand guard at the gate of the mind. Every thought asks for permission to enter. You are the gatekeeper. Epictetus said, "When anyone harms you or speaks ill of you, remember that it is your opinion about the harm that hurts you." Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Seneca reminded, "The mind anxious about future events is miserable before they arrive." The discipline of assent is not about ignoring reality, it's about seeing clearly. Seeing without distortion, without surrender to fear or illusion. So the next time anger rises or fear whispers, pause. Remember, you cannot always choose what happens, but you can always choose what you believe. And in that choice lies your freedom. There is nothing more powerful and more dangerous than desire. Desire moves the world, but it also chains people to suffering. The Stoics taught that freedom comes not from getting what you want, but from wanting what is right. This is the discipline of desire. Epictetus said, "Freedom is not achieved by satisfying desire, but by eliminating the desire for things beyond our control." He asked his students to imagine life as a great banquet. The dishes come and go, some before you, some not yet served. When a plate arrives, take it with gratitude. When it passes, do not complain. Wait patiently for what comes next. This, he said, is how the wise live, content with what fate serves. Hungry for virtue, but never enslaved by appetite. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Do not dream of what you do not have. Reflect on the blessings you do possess, and how eagerly you would long for them if lost." Desire blinds us to the present. We chase what we lack, forgetting what we hold. To want what you have, that is true wealth. Seneca warned, "No man is poor who desires only what he truly needs." The more we crave, the more we become slaves to circumstance. He wrote, "It is not the man who has little, but the man who wants more, who is poor." Happiness was not having everything, but needing less. He called this tranquillitas animi, the tranquility of the soul. A quiet mind is the reward of disciplined desire. So how do we practice the discipline of desire today? Pause before every want and ask, is this within my control? If I lose it tomorrow, will my peace disappear with it? If yes, you are not free yet. Train your desire toward virtue, not possessions. Desire courage. Desire kindness. Desire justice. These are the only things fortune cannot take away. Each night, List the simple things you already have. A warm meal, a kind word, a chance to breathe. Gratitude is how desire transforms into peace. Epictetus said, "He who desires nothing outside his own power cannot be restrained." Marcus Aurelius wrote, "When you arise in the morning, think of the privilege to be alive." Seneca reminded, "He who limits his desires has discovered how to be happy." The discipline of desire does not kill passion, it purifies it. It teaches us to want not endlessly, but wisely. Not more, but enough. So the next time you find yourself craving or comparing, pause. Happiness does not come from fulfilling every desire, but from desiring only what leads to peace. The Stoics did not believe in philosophy as words. They believed in philosophy as action. Because what use is wisdom if it never leaves the page? The discipline of action is about aligning what you know with what you do. It's about turning virtue into motion. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." He believed philosophy was not for debate, but for daily life. He reminded himself each morning, "At dawn, think of what it is to be human, to do what is right, to work for others, to rise above excuses." He saw every task as a chance to practice justice and humility. Action to him was not about noise or glory, but quiet consistency. Doing the right thing, even when no one sees. Epictetus said, "Remember that you are an actor in a play, assigned a role by the author. If your part is short, play it well. If long, play it well. It is not up to you to choose the role, only to perform it with excellence." Life gives us duties: parent, friend, citizen. We cannot control our position, but we can control how honorably we play it. To act with integrity, that is the discipline of action. Seneca wrote, "Philosophy teaches us to act, not to speak. Wisdom without action is like a sword that never leaves its sheath." He said, "Good character is not formed in retreat, but forged in the storms of the world." Virtue means living rightly, not talking beautifully. Every day is a test, not of what you know, but of how you behave. So how do we practice the discipline of action today? Begin with intention. Ask, what is mine to do today? How can I serve wisely and act justly? Act with excellence, not perfection. Mistakes are part of life. What matters is effort guided by reason. Do your duty and accept the outcome with peace. Align words with deeds. Do not preach virtue, practice it. Let your life be your teaching. Serve others. Marcus Aurelius said, "What brings no benefit to the hive brings no benefit to the bee." Every act for the common good is an act of virtue. Epictetus said, "Don't explain your philosophy. Embody it." Marcus wrote, "What is not good for the swarm is not good for the bee." Seneca reminded, "The wise man is useful to others, even in silence." The discipline of action is the bridge between thought and life. It is how wisdom walks, how courage breathes, how virtue becomes real. The next time you hesitate, remember, right now is your moment to act. To speak kindly, to help someone, to fulfill your duty. Don't wait to be ready. Don't wait to be perfect. Act with integrity and let philosophy live through you. There is one idea that stands at the heart of Stoicism, the dividing line between peace and misery, between freedom and slavery. It is this: some things are within our control, and some things are not. Epictetus began his Enchiridion with these words: "There are things which are within our power, and things which are not. Within our control are our judgments, our intentions, our actions, our choices. Outside our control are the opinions of others, the weather, fortune, even our bodies. When we confuse the two, we suffer. When we accept the difference, we become free." Epictetus was born into slavery. His master could break his body, but not his mind. One day, when his master twisted his leg, Epictetus calmly said, "If you continue, you will break it." And when the bone snapped, he said simply, There, I told you so. He did not say this out of arrogance, but out of understanding. He knew, pain is not up to me. My response is. From that moment, he was freer than his master. Marcus Aurelius ruled the greatest empire on earth. Yet, he wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." He faced betrayal, war, and plague. But he refused to be ruled by fear. He focused on what was his choices, his reason, his virtue. Even as the world crumbled, his inner citadel stood firm. Seneca wrote, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." He meant that most of our pain comes not from events, but from our judgments about them. When insulted, the insult itself is nothing. It is our opinion of the insult that wounds us. If we can master our judgments, we can master our peace. So how do we live this lesson today? When something frustrates you, pause and ask, is this within my control? If yes, act with courage, clarity, and purpose. If no, release it. Let it go. You cannot control what others think of you. There is a strange practice in Stoicism. The Stoics would sometimes choose discomfort on purpose. Seneca advised, set aside a certain number of days, content with the scantiest of food and clothing, and say, is this what I feared? Why would a wealthy philosopher sleep on the floor or eat stale bread? Because he wanted to remind himself, comfort is not guaranteed. If you train to endure little, you will not tremble when much is taken away. Seneca, though wealthy, often lived simply. He ate coarse bread, wore rough clothes, slept without luxury. Not because he had to, but because he chose to. He wanted to prove, I can endure this. If fate strips me bare, I will not break. Musonius Rufus said, we should train ourselves for hardship. Luxury corrupts us. Training in hardship is like a soldier preparing for war. Epictetus, who lived as a slave, knew hardship well. He told his students, when you wear a cloak, remind yourself it may be torn. His life itself was training in discomfort, and he turned it into strength. So how can we try this today? Sleep one night without your usual comfort. Skip a meal and notice that hunger will not destroy you. Take a cold shower and realize the body is strong and the mind stronger. By doing this, you learn. What you fear is often smaller than you imagined. Seneca said, a man who is prepared for poverty lives in wealth. Because he has learned to be content with little. Voluntary discomfort is not about suffering, it is about freedom. Freedom from fear. Freedom from need. When you know you can endure, you are no longer a slave to comfort. The Stoics taught mindfulness long before the word became popular. They called it precocious attention to the present moment. Marcus Aurelius wrote, confine yourself to the present. The task of the moment is enough. How much of life is wasted in regret for yesterday or anxiety for tomorrow? The Stoics warned us, absence from the present is absence from life. Each morning, Marcus reminded himself, you have been given this day. Do not waste it in distraction. Even as emperor, he rooted himself in the moment. Epictetus told his students, when walking, pay attention. When eating, pay attention. When speaking, pay attention. For him, philosophy was not abstract, it was awareness in ordinary life. Seneca warned, it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it. Distraction, he said, is the true thief of life. So how do we practice Stoic mindfulness today? When eating, just eat. Taste, chew, be present. When listening, truly listen without planning your reply. When working, focus on one task, not 10. Catch your mind when it wanders. Gently return it to now. Marcus Aurelius said, give yourself fully to the task at hand, as if it were the last you were to do. Mindfulness is not a luxury, it is a necessity. Because the only moment we ever truly have is this one.